Aloha and welcome to another episode of Cape and Cowl Unlimited, the place for everything superhero and all that's awesome in between. I'm your host Alex Burns, I'm joined with this guy again. Sam Burns is back, everyone.
And I'm very glad to be back.
Dude, happy to have you here, man. Happy to have you part of the team that is Cape and Cowl. Today we're talking about something that is awesome in between. It's the Uncharted 4, A Thief's End story trailer. Came out a couple of days ago and I just, in between work and life, get time to do it. Here we go. I want to talk about this though because I freaking love the Uncharted game franchise. You're a massive fan as well.
Yeah.
So much going down in this trailer, man. Where do we start?
Well, the first thought about it was just how incredible that game looks. I'm a massive fan of Far Cry, and for me, that is one of the best looking environment games I've seen.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I just watched this trailer, man. I was just, that puts those games to shame almost.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like an exotic location, the sort of water effects, we've had the African sort of landscape in Far Cry 2, and then they have that mountain sort of in China or whatever in Far Cry 4, and it's just like...
It just looks incredible, and it looks like when you go from like cutscene graphics to like in-game graphics. There's no drop. It's not like, I know it was like 2 generations ago, but you went like the Final Fantasy games, where it was just these awesome cutscenes, and then it was just...
to lure people in.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. Obviously, we're talking, this is Naughty Dog on the PS4, and they're a studio that just push things to the limit story-wise, technologically or whatever, tech. They're pushing the tech. They're going hard on what they can get out of this PS4, and you just know that they're going to be harnessing every kind of piece of power from it.
This is their first release on the PlayStation 4, like the first game.
Yeah, they did the remaster for The Last of Us.
Yeah, they did that, but this is what they can do with it, man. I'm so excited for whatever else could come next.
And it's the Uncharted formula. So the trailer kicks off with, we had the epic trilogy on the PS3, and it's Nate getting back into the game. We start off with the scene in New York, him and his brother, also called Sam, and Sam's
best kind of.
Well, it looks like Sam's going to be roping him out of that life that he's set up with Elena.
Yeah, I think it really does seem to be. Yeah, like she's going very much set on. There's even one bit in the trailer where I think he's stamping something, so maybe he's just doing.
He's got a desk job.
Yeah, he's got a desk job or something like that. But I'm not too sure what's going to happen between those two.
It looks pretty much because of course we see more of Elena towards the end of the trailer, and she's not looking happy, And Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, if you play through that whole game, you basically saw how Nate realised what the truly important things were in life. He gets rid of his ring necklace thing, which has always been a symbol of greatness from humble beginnings, small beginnings, whatever his sort of statement is, and he gave up on the Atlantis of the Sands. He's done it so many times. He can't keep putting himself in harm's way. He's nearly lost Elena. He realises the important things in life, and so that was the big sort of talking point. What gets him back into this?
And it's his brother, isn't it? But before we delve too much into the storyline, I want to ask you. It's called A Thief's End. Do you think it's the last Uncharted game?
Well, it's the $1 million question, isn't it? I mean, Nolan North, I think, is the only one who's come out and actually given you like a sort of statement on it. Naughty Dog are pretty mum on it, because I think, if you're a studio, never say never, because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot later on. But Naughty Dog are really good at just sort of capping off a franchise. They haven't had to return to the well of Jak and Daxter and Crash Bandicoot, things like that. They very much were on those platforms. Crash on the PS1, Jak and Daxter on the PS2, and when they have sort of come over and it's been the sort of franchise has been handed off to a lesser studio to an extent. We had it with
those rubbish,
but we had it with Jak and Daxter,
racing games.
Well, they did the racing game, and it's sort of.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure they did, but it was sort of like a misstep. They're sort of stepping out, trying to maybe bleed
the franchise,
milk the cow.
Yeah,
and had the Lost Frontier. Jak Daxter, which was a PS2 port, came out on the PS3. It was just rubbish, and it left a bad taste in your mouth if you're a big fan of those Jak Daxter fans like we are. But to answer your question, yeah, man. Yeah,
do you think it's the last one?
It could be.
Do you think it's a choice between whether you want an Uncharted 5? We don't even know how good this one's going to be yet, really, or a second Last of Us. Because I'm certain they'll do another Last of Us.
You think that's in the pipeline? Whether it's still following Joel and Ellie, or a new set of characters just in that world?
I'd like a new set of characters, because that's just, don't talk about Last of Us now.
Yeah,
and I could talk that would just overrun the Uncharted 4.
Well, then we should do a video on The Last of Us.
Definitely.
On that, yes.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, if it happens, or just to talk about the other game. Yeah. But I mean, Uncharted is kind of the, you know, it's the anti sort of Last of Us. It's you still get an emotionally hefty story, but it's like overblown action and just an Indiana Jones style adventure. That, you know, those are some of my favourite movies. The idea that I can play a game like this. And it does look unbelievable, the gameplay that's been revealed for it, you know?
I don't really watch too many gameplay trailers, but the one you showed me, I was just so impressed. Mainly by the shooting aspect of it, how it looks just going from one thing to another. What has impressed me the most, and I'll say it straight out, is how the environment has always been very much destroyable in each game.
Yeah.
But this one seems to be... like it's making you move from one bit of cover to the next, because you could kind of just hide behind one thing and just take out a lot of people.
That's all you did on brutal mode. That was all it was. You just stayed behind, you know, that area that wasn't going to get taken down.
But it seems like you've even got Sully, who's with you, or whatever AI you're going to have with you, being like, you got to get out of there, the kind of thing.
Yeah, move, Nate.
Yeah, so it's kind of saying like, that's what impressed me the most. It's making you move through this expansive level.
Yeah.
Which is just these massive levels, and it seems to be you can just take different routes in it, which is replay value.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, so the level in question, of course, is you know, it starts off with the shootout sort of on this island. We don't know quite the location. It looks very lovely, lovely place. I love to go there. But you know, it starts off with a little bit of a gunfight in amongst the streets, and then descends into this incredible car chase through this sort of sprawling island city. Coastal sort of thing, and it just I mean, it reminds me of on a smaller scale, you know, in the second Uncharted, you had that epic sort of level where the tank was chasing you through that Tibetan village, and you know, you can, you know, if you have fun sort of playing around just with levels and pushing, you know, where the game will let you go and where it won't. You know, I had quite a, you know, you could get far, you could run in a very far direction, you know, out of the game world, and then eventually the tank would catch up and blow you up. But you can have fun with how far you could push the level. So it opens up the possibility of, is this level going to be a co-op level? They've done that in multiplayer before. That would be amazing with two cars.
I think like the biggest city levels are maybe going to be just how you go through that particular level. But I think when the game is slowed down, you do have this massive area.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be free roaming within that area. You're not going to be able to go from like place to place, but it's going to be just this massive level which you really are looking around. It's not like one step.
It'd be crazy, you know. I mean, it's photo mode on another level. They could almost do a walk around, like a walk around mode where you literally just can walk around this environment. I'd hope there'd be something like that. Also, if we're saying this is the final Uncharted game, it'd be kind of cool if it could live on in terms of multiplayer for a very long time to come. I mean, I played the multiplayer beta, and it has to be like one of the most enjoyable experience, because I've been a fan of all the Uncharted multiplayer. I really get into it. It's one of those games where if you're good in the story and you can complete the game on crushing, you go into multiplayer and you're a bit of a badass. You know, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I was really enjoying that. And I was good at it as well. And I'd love for that to continue, because if the support is there for the game afterwards, if it is the final story, you know, and they keep adding maps and more challenge modes, but also a HUD world where you can actually just bring your adventurer, like Destiny does with the main
and then
you can sort of interact and check your gear out. It'd be cool if they did an environment like that in a sort of open world sort of mess around. And it's just another aspect to keep the Uncharted franchise going. But I mean, more sort of story details now.
What ideas? What the story might be?
This trailer was the story trailer, and it did reveal quite a lot. I was quite surprised.
It did. Well, from the offset, you've got. Well, I think from beginning to end of what we can kind of grasp is that he's living with Elena. He's got his like rubbish little boring job, whatever that he's doing. It doesn't even seem like they've moved on to anything. It doesn't seem like they've got a kid or anything.
Elena
they've got maybe this
like
small house.
Yeah, Elena seems happy. Like it's enough for her. Yeah, but there's always the want for Drake, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's still got like maps around the house and stuff. I think there's a bedroom and he's got all the maps.
He hasn't been on enough adventures. Man. I'd be quite happy with one of them. You know?
But I think I think the game might start off with a flashback scene with him and Sam, introduce him from the get-go,
like they did in Uncharted 3 with young Nate in Colombia or whatever it was, meeting Sully, which fantastic level, man. Unbelievable.
Sully looked incredible, man.
Yeah, the young sort of suave Sully. But yeah, I mean, definitely. So you got that flashback in New York, you know, and it might even be sort of this discovery of the treasure, you know, because we know it's a pirate treasure this time around. We'll get more onto the details of it, but obviously introducing a relative. There's connections there, and we haven't seen this guy in any other games.
So that's who else can drag him out? Who can get dragged out?
It's a family bond. There was the great trailer of sort of a sweep around of all these. It was like a shootout going on. Nate was there. Nadine, the new sort of villain, who looks very imposing, she was there. And Nate's got a voiceover, and he's saying like, "Oh, they'll remember me as some dude who risked it all for some treasure." And he's holding his hand out, and you think he's going for the coin, but it's actually to help his brother. It's a family and stuff like that. That might be the most important thing, because as far as we were concerned, Nate pretty much grew up as like an orphan. Not much has been revealed about him. You always thought he was sort of like a vagabond, just sort of like roaming the streets, and sort of gets picked up by Sully, and that's why he's so important to him. So that's why that game works so well. But yeah, bringing him back in, man, a brotherly bond is strong. We can test that.
But Nadine seemed like, what is she, like a militia leader?
She's massive as well.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah, the voice cast for this film is pretty impressive. For this game is pretty impressive. But she's a very different type of villain. We do also see. It looks like another adventurer.
Yeah, I think he might be working. Well, I don't know who he will be, but I think he might be working for Nadine, or he's like what Drake used to be.
Yeah,
maybe.
Maybe it's that juxtaposition. Yeah, it's like, yo, I'm just like you, man. I'm going out. I'm involved with the wrong people.
Yeah,
and he says that great line to him. He's like, yo, you can go home, go back to your family. We'll just call it quits, man. We're just chasing treasure at the end of the day. We don't need to die. And Nate's like, nah, man, maybe he's got Sam or something. You don't know if he's pointing the gun at Sam at that point. So walk away, Drake. Save yourself, dude. Man, be intense. It'll be. I cannot wait, man, to get involved in another adventure. The locations look amazing. We've already had. There's the bike chase, car chase. There's boats. Like, where else are they going to go with this, man?
It seems to be so like free flowing as well. It seems it's not like you have this massive like level and you go from thing to thing. It's not
the
just
car
like,
level.
It's not like you go. Yeah, it's not like that. Or it's not like you go like he jumps into the car. Like it's not like jump into a car, small cutscene, and then it's like it's just all so free flowing. And then it goes. I think he like swings onto like a tank.
Road, man. That is thrown up. That's another new gameplay element, man. That's just we don't care. We're Indiana Jones, and we're basically Spider-Man.
Exactly.
It's like he's like jumping all over the place. And in the multiplayer, it was a really, really intuitive way of getting the drop on someone. You swing down, you literally just punch him in the back of the head. It's so rewarding, and getting it done to you is you can't really moan. It's like, God damn it. But fantastic. I mean. The cast coming back as well. So we've got Nolan North as Nathan Drake, and combined with the new graphics, his performance I think is just going to elevate even more, because now we're getting the subtleties in his performance brought through with the enhanced facial sort of expression system that they brought in there. Troy Baker's coming on as Sam Drake, and we love Troy, BioShock Infinite, Joel, The Last of Us, like just a great all-rounder, and just adding to this impressive cast. Of course, Emily Rose is coming back as Elena Fisher. Sully's back as well, Richard McGonagall or whatever, so it's just good to have these guys back, and of course you got Neil Druckmann, game director,
pushing the boat out for maybe one last hurrah. Thief's End. Do you think he's gonna die? You think Drake's gonna die?
Oh, sorry, you asked me before. I thought it was the same question again. I think it's going to be the last game. Do I think they're going to kill him? I don't think that's not a rewarding end for me, right?
Maybe not, but maybe it's one of those things where he's left Elena, that's split up, and he's like fighting for nothing else.
I don't know. I do. Is the only way to make these heroes interesting to kill them off? Like, it seems to be a trend that we've got going through a lot of games right now, to kill them but not kill them.
As long as I don't get another Arkham Knight ending, I'm more than happy.
Where it just leaves it completely up in the air. I mean, that was hit and miss for a lot of people, and you kind of don't want that with Uncharted. You kind of just, I was happy with every single ending of every other game, and I'm kind of happy if they keep him alive at the end of it, but it's another lesson learned. I don't feel like the only way to finalise this story is to kill him. It's like, oh, he'll always go on another adventure. No, Sam is the reason he's coming back to this. It's not the allure of a treasure. I honestly think it's just like trying to make up to his brother. They've got history.
But also, like, Drake hasn't really won anything from all of his treasure hunts. He's just found out a lot of cool information. He hasn't actually, for a thief, he's done it pretty poorly in terms of like big treasure.
Dude, man, I remember going around and shooting all those little glints and getting all those little treasures. They must have added up to something, man.
Yeah, he's probably done all right, but he hasn't.
He doesn't.
Maybe a thief's end. This is his. Maybe this is where he gets his booty.
Oh, they're going to end it with sort of a Dark Knight Rises ending where he's sitting in the sun with Elena and Alfred pops up, or Sully.
Yeah, not Elena, Sully.
Gives him a nod.
What Sully's drinking the coffee.
I mean, I just want the story to take me, and hey man, I might, the way Naughty Dog tell a story, they're so good at, dishing things out and making things satisfying. I might be happy by the time if he does die. It might feel like the right choice. I'm just ready to be taken on another ride with this studio. They're so good at doing it. I'm excited for, we're going to be doing the Twitch stream. We're getting on Twitch, Cape and Cowl, Team Cape and Cowl on Twitch. So we will be, playing with you guys on the multiplayer. So we're really excited to get that. That'll become a weekly show. So look out for that. But I mean, we'll just touch on the treasure itself because there's some good theories going out about it. I mean, there's so much that we've seen. So yeah, I'm not a history buff or anything. We're literally just like, there's a few fan theories going around off a lot of sites. But the mystery pirate looks to be historical. They've done it before with Francis Drake and Marco Polo, these great adventurers, and the mysterious booty that they leave across the globe. So. Yeah, what's his name? Pirate Henry Every. Yeah, so it is a pirate treasure. You can imagine that would be appealing to, a kid, kids in New York.
Yeah, apparently. What did he get? Story. Like the biggest ever haul?
Yes, he was part. This is like proper pirate time, man. They were going out and they were finding stuff, stealing stuff, pillaging as a good pirate does. But he basically screwed over the rest of his dudes. He mutinized his crew. He went on it on his own, man. He did it the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was. What is it? It came up in the trailer. Every betrayed us all. And it's like, where did he go? He basically hauled off all this fortune. It's not been confirmed, by the way. This is just a bit of speculation. But if that's the treasure, I'd be totally on board with that, man. That's a pretty crazy story.
And if it is this massive haul, it's like it has to be maybe like a room full of something, maybe like a bit of a Treasure Planet type thing, where instead of Captain Flint, it's Henry Everett just holding on to some kind of thing. And it's just this room of gold and like,
because that's what we kind of haven't had. We've always had like a treasure, like
there's one thing,
like the treasure of like Shangri-La was the everlasting sort of juice, the tree sap that you kill, and the El Dorado was the kind of the gold, but it was the curse of El Dorado. So we haven't really had that big sort of, I think Golden Abyss on PS Vita was the only one I can remember sort of seeing piles of gold and sort of that Aladdin moment, Genie in the Lamp.
But it's not actually, there's nothing behind it. Yeah. There's no like voodoo, it's just a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, that'd be amazing to see pirate ships. I mean, going for that classical sort of swashbuckling treasure.
Yeah, and just misleading Thief's End. Drake's not going to die, he's actually going to get everything he's ever wanted. Maybe Sam will die. It's just,
when does a thief end? When he's got what he was trying to steal.
Exactly.
So, honor among thieves, a thief's end. What we're going to do here, guys, completing the story. It's pretty intense. Guys, thank you for joining us on this extended Uncharted 4 trailer analysis. We're so excited for it. It is out in April, 26th or 27th.
It's on pre-order now as well.
Yeah, get it, man. Get your pre-orders in. We're definitely going to be buying it, and we'll be sharing all of our gameplay experience with you guys. Keep it locked to capeandcowl.co.uk. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Cape and Cowl Unlimited. I'm Alex, this is Sam, and we're out. See you guys.